At the end of my high school, I was good at mathematics and science, and at that point, I had some relatives who were doing engineering, and I was not very clear about my path. My dad is an engineer, and he has a IT software little company of his own. So I think it was a more natural selection of engineering for me. I wouldn't say it was very much because I was interested and I invested time in wanting to do this. It was just a natural choice, I think. And then I did my 4 years of engineering. A lot of things I liked, but it was just very fast and the course got done. And then I had a very traditional IT engineering job, which I got right after my engineering degree. And it was in an IT company, a very big IT company, which has around 300,000 employees all across the world. So I was like a little drop in this big ocean. So it was exciting in the beginning. It was my first job, but I think I realized after a year and a half that I didn't really like it for many reasons. One being, it was a very deliverable based job, like we had this week we do this and the next week we are going to do this. So it was very strict in that sense, very demanding, and there was this idea of the customer or the client is first, so you have to drop all of your interests and focus on the client. So there are people who like that and get thrilled from this, but I didn't enjoy it, so I left that job. What are the other reasons I left that job? Also I think because I was at that bottom level in this company, there wasn't much creativity in my job. I was just doing things, like it was more like a labor work, let's say, where the top people would design all the things and the bottom people would do just the labor work. So that was another reason that it was unsatisfying. And so after 1.5 years, I thought, I think I would like to do something else. And around the same time, I found an article in the paper. So before that, I've always been interested in music and sound. So I saw this article in the paper. It was, so if you know the Bose headphones, it's a headphone company called Bose. And the article was about the founder, who was of Indian origin, and he was working in the US and he died. And it was an article about his life and his career. So I got very interested because he started as a physicist and engineer, and then he went, because he liked sound and music as well, he went into acoustics. So I was like, I would really like this path, So I started looking for courses for masters to do acoustics. And I came across this course in Edinburgh University, which was called Acoustics and Music Technology. And I thought it's the ideal course for me. And also Edinburgh University is a very well-known university. So I just, again at that time, it was just this impulse for me to do this course. And I didn't apply for any other course but this one. And there were many oppositions in this choice, because a lot of my friends and family thought, what are you doing, like music now after engineering? My dad, I think he always, because he likes exploring and new things, he supported me. And also it's a lot of money to do a master's in the United Kingdom. So I had my dad's support, but a lot of my family members were not very supportive. They thought the money that we are putting in, we are not, what is the job in this area? How are you going to recover the money you spent? But anyway, in the end, I convinced, I just went and did that course. But it opened so many new avenues for me, this Edinburgh course. firstly because it was a very international environment. So on a personal level, I found many different things and very inspiring things. And also within my class in this course, it was very multidisciplinary because there were people who, engineers like me, there were piano graduates, there were architects, there were like music conductors. They are all in this one course. So everybody was interested in sound and acoustics and they wanted to pursue this. So I think my scope was broadened a lot. So then during that course, during the same time, I happened to take a course on speech technologies. And I took this again by chance because I was looking for many courses and there was like one vacancy of 10 credits and I was thinking what to take there. So it was either like management and innovation or like speech. And speech, I had no idea about this. So my professor, one of my professor, who was called Stefan Bilbao, actually, very coincidental, he said that I should take speech because it's going to be more useful rather than management and innovation, which you learn anyway. So I took speech, and then around the same time, my dad got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I read an article by coincidence that they are doing research in speech. They are using speech to detect Parkinson's disease. So I got really curious about this, signal processing with speech and finding differences in the voice of people who have Parkinson's to detect it much earlier than when they see the symptoms. So I got interested in this, and because of this personal reason, I ended up doing my final master's project in Parkinson's detection with speech. So that's the journey till then. And then again I left it for a while and I wanted to do programming for keyboards and synthesizers. But I wasn't getting many jobs in that area, and I came back and my professor suggested, there is this PhD position and it is mostly to do with speech. And I looked at all the list of the PhD positions and I applied for a few. And this one, the one that I'm working on now, it's related to disordered speech or impaired speech. And also my profile and the master's final project that I did with Parkinson's and the detection using speech, it helped me also gain this position. And here what we do is, there are people with speech problems who, for example, we deal with laryngectomies. So they are people who have had cancer in their throat and they've had to remove the larynx, let's say, and this makes it very difficult for them to speak. So we work on taking their speech and improving it with many algorithms and making it easier to listen to. So so that's where my work comes here, to make these improvements and then later on give these improved versions of the speech back to them so that they can use it as a device. So they can speak into, the translation systems, you speak, you go to China and you speak into it and you hear Chinese, something like that. So where they can speak with their, let's say, unintelligible voice, and they can speak the clear version when we make that clear version. Yeah, so that's the career path. And also the idea that I could do different things and not just go in the traditional IT informatics line. I saw my friends doing so many different things. People in my class, for example, the girl who learned piano, for her to think that she can do engineering and she can change her field. So also I felt comfortable changing my field, and also this personal event that I had. So right from my university, the 4 years of engineering that I did, I think we had a bunch of many courses, like we had 48 courses in 4 years. So there was a lot of programming, but I have to be honest that when we did programming then, there was no like goal, or I don't think I was a good programmer. It was just theoretical. Although there was some practical application, it was because it was not a real life goal. I don't think I learned very well. But now that I'm working here, I can see that I'm needing programming a lot. So of course my base in my studies has helped me learn these things faster, because there are people doing PhDs like me who are coming from a linguistics background or a non-engineering background, and they find it harder to do the programming and to actually do the work and the statistics. So I think in this way it has helped me, and yeah, I think so. I think you need to have an inclination towards engineering, and I think in any engineering profession it's very important to have focus and dedication, and to understand that it's a demanding profession. You might have deadlines, and because you're a skilled professional and there is like an entire department or industry counting on your skills, it's going to be demanding. I think this is the first thing. But also I think if you have this mindset, you could come from an artistic background and move into engineering, or come from an engineering background and go into something creative. And I think there are many examples of these crossovers. Like I heard, like, you know, the scientists in NASA, they are using origami, which is the paper folding technique. So they would do, like, they call origami experts, and they make these. So to send something into space, they first make it compact and then send it out and make it big. Or like in cooking, like if you see these Michelin chefs, they are using engineering techniques to make their food look nicer. So I think now there are many crossovers in engineering and creativity. So yeah, I think if you have a natural inclination, then you should go for it.